What we're going to be talking about in this chapter is about the post-landing transition. What I'd like to do first is to give you a recap of what happens before the landings. Now, before the landings, there's going to be a change in governments. These are the so-called announcements, and they're very close to happening right now. The second thing that's going to happen is going to be prosperity. Think of it like King Croesus, forever amounts of money. What is going to happen with prosperity is, for the first time in human history, there's going to be a large amount of money that the average person has access to do whatever he or she wishes to do. What is expected will happen is we will seek to do things that we have wanted to do, our desires, our joys, etc. So we expect that the society will be changing. It'll decentralize. People will be serving each other. So we expect what we call a true service society, in which people create jobs for themselves based on their joy. In other words, people opening up, let's say, centers for meditation, because then more people will want to meditate. There'll be centers for healing, because people will need to want to know about new forms of healing. So the other thing that will happen, the second point after the government change linked with prosperity change, is there's going to be technology released. This is the so-called suppressed technology. This includes energy, medicine, and everything in between. So anything that you can imagine that you thought might have been invented already probably has been. It will now be revealed. This government, because it's oriented toward service and toward truth and toward getting rid of the suppression that has happened and transforming it into an open society, you'll see a massive change. So we expect a vast interaction of people on a local and on a global level. What will also happen is a lot of technologies that move us towards the next level of almost being telepathic-like with each other, and of being able to move from place to place will happen. So as a result, devices very similar to replicators will come around. We'll have infinite energy devices, in other words, or free energy as like other people like to call them, or space energy devices. We'll have maglev devices, which are added anti-gravity machines, and a whole bunch of stuff. So that means that people will be able to communicate with each other in very unique ways, and it also means that we'll be able to travel around freely wherever we need to go. So imagine that world in which we're socially responsible, ecologically wanting to be, and we create this incredible society. Now, near the end of this 8 to 9 month period of this vast explosion of humanity, we will have the announcements for contact. Contact will then happen. After that, when they are down, the Ascended Masters and our friends in the Galactic Federation in Agartha will then want to talk to us. And this brings us up to the next phase, the transitional period after first contact. What does it imply? What is it about? Now, we've already been massively changed. We've gone from being job-oriented, paycheck-oriented, to being joy-oriented and not worrying about money. We've gone from that, and now we're looking at alternate medicine as well. So we are now extremely healthy people. We have healing centers all up the bazoo, so to speak, around us. We have new forms of medicine. We have new forms of dealing with ecology. We have new forms of transportation, and we've solved the energy crisis. So now the landings happen. They're down. They're here. They've been announced. We know they're benevolent. But now the question is, what does that all mean to us? The first thing that they, meaning the Federation, the Galactic Federation, wants for you to do is to talk to them. We need feedback from you, and we hope that you will get feedback to us, from us. The result is a conversation. The conversation could be, well, I'm frustrated that this didn't happen sooner, or why did you guys wait so long for it to happen, or whatever. Now here's what happens to the technology. The technology has moved from what we have right now to light-based technologies, to technologies that are almost telepathic, where you can actually beam messages inside a person's head. It's very similar to telepathy, but not quite. Now they come down, they being the Galactic Federation, and they go to the next level. They introduce their technology. What that technology does is take all of that next step further. So they realize that what you want is to know who they are, to get over your fears of what they're about and why they are doing what they're doing. The first step, we need to get to know each other. So we'll talk. There'll be trips up to the ships. There'll be all this stuff required to get to know one another. The next step, which also includes in the first month, is the beginning of education. What do they mean by education? Education is, you're about to become fully conscious beings. And the question is, what does that mean? Let us show you. So holographic rooms will come with their technology beside the replicators. And the replicators, to just as an aside here, the replicators do three things. They do food, they do rooms and houses and furniture, and they can also change dramatically the clothes you have or whatever, things like that that you may want to put on you or put around you. So what is happening here now is you have this technology, you're learning every day about becoming fully conscious beings. So now we begin a process of counseling with each other, of looking at each other. That should be well underway by the end of the first month. Second month, they're going to begin in their own way to take their technology, mixed with the technology that we've just seen revealed during the period before first contact, and mix those together. So that for one full month, we're cleaning up the earth, we're creating societies, at least prototype, of what Galactic Society is about. We're learning from each other. Third month, this continues, and what now is added to the mix is you now begin to interact on talking about the migration, the actual final process of becoming fully conscious. The metamorphosis chambers, what does all that mean? What is going to happen? They want to do this for two reasons. They want to get rid of any potential fears you may have in you about inner Earth and about what's going on. So what they will do is they will help us by showing us what inner Earth looks like, showing us what the metamorphic chambers and rooms we're going to looks like, and preparing us for the migration and telling us, what is this migration? What does it mean? Why do we have to do this? It's not really because of some need, just a whim. It's because of a process that has been set up by heaven. And so they will talk about this, plus the technology that they've created for us, how each of us have been profiled, how each of us have been adopted to the devices that they've created, how do these devices work, what is the process that you go through, and the idea is within a few weeks to prepare you for this migration and also moving into being fully conscious. They want us to be fully educated on everything involved with this procedure, so that there's no fears, there's no worries, and actually it becomes something, as you get to talk about it, there's joy. An example of this might be somebody who's always wanted to be a cook, and all of a sudden they're allowed to go to cooking school, and it's the graduation. Look at this, becoming fully conscious as being the graduation, where you can finally go out and become who you wanted to be. And that's what this is all about. So this is the procedure. So let's next look at what the migration period is, because then by the end of the fourth month, we'll be doing this.